Hello and welcome. I'm Suma Katauka and you're watching the World Report on NewsX World. Let's take a look at the top headlines of this hour. Police say the gunman in the Bondi Beach attack threw 4 undetonated explosives, including a tennis ball bomb. At the start of assault on a Jewish festival, David Akram is charged with 15 counts of murder, while his father Sajid Akram is killed by the police, with documents saying the pair recorded an Islamic State-inspired manifesto. Meanwhile, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese apologizes to the Jewish community after the deadly Bondi Beach attack. He says his government will do more to protect Jewish Australians and combat the anti-Semitism. A Russian lieutenant general is killed after a bomb planted under a car explodes in Moscow. According to investigators, authorities say Fanil Sarvarov, a senior military training official, dies at the scene and are probing possible Ukrainian involvement. US and Ukrainian envoys say talks in Miami are productive and constructive, but yield no major breakthrough on ending the war with Russia. The meetings focused on aligning positions on the proposed peace plan and security guarantees as separate US-Russia talks continue. The United States is in active pursuit of a third oil tanker near Venezuela after seizing 2 vessels this month. Officials say Washington says this ship is part of Venezuela's sanctioned dark fleet, as Caracas condemns the seizures as illegal. Southeast Asian foreign ministers meet in Malaysia to try to restore a ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia. After weeks of deadly fighting, the clashes have killed at least 60 people and displaced more than 500,000, shattering a previous truce brokered by ASEAN and the United States. A regional assembly in Niigata votes to allow the restart of the Kashiwazaki Kariwa plant, the world's largest nuclear facility in Japan. The move marks a key step in Japan's return to nuclear power nearly 15 years after the Fukushima disaster, despite local opposition. China lodges a diplomatic complaint with Japan over a senior ruling party official's visit to Taiwan, calling it a serious mistake. The move comes as Taiwan and Japan signal closer cooperation, further straining already tense Beijing-Tokyo relations. Now for this hour, we start with Bangladesh. Muhammad Motalib Sikdar, a young labor leader of the National Citizens Party in Khulna, Bangladesh, was shot by unknown assailants near Ghazi Medical College Hospital. Police reported that the attack initially left Sikdar in critical condition, prompting immediate medical attention. Doctors treating him have now confirmed that he is out of danger. The motive behind the shooting remains unclear, and authorities have launched an investigation into this incident. This attack follows closely on the heels of another recent shooting targeting a young political figure, Osman Hadi, raising serious concerns about the safety of emerging leaders in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is scheduled to go into polls on February of next year. Now, for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Shoaib Chaudhry. He's an editor at Blitz Dhaka, joins us live from Dhaka. Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhry, for joining us on NewsX World. Welcome. What more can you tell us about these shootings, and unfortunately one after the other?
Thank you very much, Ms. Kirti Mehta. You see, the following the incident of Osman Hadi now, as you mentioned, the hours ago, Motaleb Sikdar was also shot in Khulna district in a similar pattern as with the Osman Hadi. It seems that there has been professional killer behind both the incidents, but as we understand that until now, government has not yet been able to either identify the identity of the killer of Osman Hadi nor his current location, because there was some rumor that the assailant fled to India, but this morning the investigation agency has clearly stated that they don't have any real information about the current location of the assailant of Osman Hadi. As to the Mottalib Sikdar, you know that he was also a member, he is a member of Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which is one of the largest political parties in this country. So altogether, the situation, I mean, the killing of Osman Hadi and this attempt on Mottalib Sikdar today, it seems that the country is really heading towards a very dangerous situation where the lives of civilians are at a very big risk.
And you know, as you've mentioned, that there are rumors going on about India's involvement. Some of our other guests also kind of shedded light on that. What do you think Indian government and Bangladesh government should do to kind of make their relationship better now and shut down these kind of rumors?
Ms. Kriti, you see this, the rumor of the killer fleeing to India is false, as we know until now. And the jihadists and religious extremists in Bangladesh, they are unnecessarily trying to destroy the existing beautiful relations between Bangladesh and India. And I think from Indian government side, it has already categorically mentioned that they have no information about any existence of any the killer of Osman Hadi in India. At the same time, Bangladesh side is also trying to put exact pressure on India for extraditing Sheikh Hasina, which is a legal process. Such things cannot be done through pressure. What I understand now, India and Bangladesh together need to work for ensuring that none of the countries are being affected by the religious extremists, because we know, as a journalist, I know that behind the Osman Hadi assassination and then this attempted Mottalib Sikdar assassination, the only party that I can suspect is Pakistani ISI, because they are want to destabilize the situation in this country to somehow create an atmosphere where the February 12th election becomes impossible.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhry, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we stay in this topic. Now, Bangladesh authorities have now intensified efforts to arrest Faisal Karim Masood, who is identified as the prime suspect in the assassination of young activist and political leader Sharif Oman Hadi. Hadi had sustained gunshot injuries last week by a group of masked assailants and was later transferred to a Singapore's hospital. He, however, succumbed to his injuries on Thursday earlier this week. A Dhaka court has barred the alleged suspect from leaving the country while issuing a nationwide lookout notice for him and also imposing a travel ban. Security agency officials report that Masood is in fact in Bangladesh, but is frequently changing locations to evade arrest. Multiple investigative teams and surveillance measures have been deployed to track his movements. Hadi's killing has sparked unrest throughout the country, prompting protests, violent incidents, and a heightened anti-India rhetoric ahead of parliamentary elections that are due next year in February. Bangladesh's authorities have now intensified efforts to arrest Faisal Karim Masood, who is identified as the prime suspect in the assassination of young activist and political leader Sharif Osman Hadi. Hadi sustained gunshot injuries last week by a group of masked assailants and then later was transferred to a Singapore's hospital. He, however, succumbed to injuries on Thursday last week. Dhaka court has barred the alleged suspect from leaving the country while issuing a nationwide lookout notice for him and also imposing a travel ban. Security agency officials report that Masood is in fact in Bangladesh, but is frequently changing locations to evade the arrest. Multiple investigative teams and surveillance measures have been deployed to track his movements. Hadi's killing has sparked unrest throughout the country, prompting protests, violent incidents, and a heightened anti-India rhetoric ahead of parliamentary elections that are due next year in February. Bangladesh's authorities have now intensified efforts to arrest Faisal Karim Masood, who is identified as the prime suspect in the assassination of young activist and political leader Sharif Oman Hadi. Hadi has sustained gunshot injuries last week by a group of masked assailants and then later was transported to hospital in Singapore. He, however, succumbed to his injuries on Thursday last week. Now for this discussion, we welcome back Mr. Shoaib Chaudhry. He's the editor at Blitz, joins us live from Dhaka. Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhry, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, what should Bangladesh's government prioritize to make sure the stability is brought back to Bangladesh and the upcoming elections in February are carried out without any disruption?
Ms. Kirti, actually, first of all, we need to make it clear that this is not a government. It's an illegal regime. And any illegal regime does not want to create an atmosphere where country can return to normalcy. What Yunus is doing, actually, he's trying to cash on the unfortunate incident, for example, the death of Osman Hadi, or the very scary murder of Tipu Chandra Roy, in Bangladesh, Tipu Chandra Das. And as you know that there is already international outcry centering the death of Tipu Chandra Das. British MP Afsana Begum, she has issued a statement. Amnesty International, they have also condemned this attack through a very strong statement. There is also US Congressman Andy Oglex. He has also issued a statement. So, Tipu Chandra Das, the death, the murder, it is becoming a massively international issue, which proves that Hindus in Bangladesh are in real danger under the Yunus regime. And instead of protecting the Hindus in this country, this regime is rather facilitating such atrocities. And secondly, as you know, that the regime has so far arrested 10 people on the allegation of murdering Tipu Chandra, but to my understanding, none of them are placed on remand, meaning the regime does not want actually real investigation. It's a mere eyewash. They may arrest 10, they may arrest 12, even 15, but they will release it subsequently. But if the regime was sincere, then we can see the faces of the murderers in video, and all of them should be arrested. There is no reason that this regime is trying to hide the incident. But as I first now, what I understand as a journalist, because there is a massive international outcry from Amnesty to British Parliament to US Congress, I think if Yunus will not ensure an immediate investigation, real investigation into the death of Tipu Chandra Das, murder of Tipu Chandra Das, this regime is going to face very strict consequences, severe consequences, and I'm hoping that there will be some statement very soon from the US State Department and even possibly from the President Donald Trump's administration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhry, for sharing that timely and insight all the way from Dhaka with us on NewsX World. Now we move on to our next news. Thai Foreign Minister Sihasak Phuangketkeow has stated that the recent peace pact with Cambodia was rushed by Washington to ensure it was signed in time for a ceremony overseen by the US President Donald Trump. The foreign minister noted that negotiators were sometimes in a rush to complete the joint declaration because the United States wanted it ready for President Trump's visit to the region. The agreement, known as the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accord, was signed in October 2025 during an ASEAN summit in Malaysia. It was intended to prolong a truce following deadly border clashes earlier in this year. Thailand then suspended the pact in November 2025 after the landmine incidents injured Thai soldiers, which Bangkok blamed on new Cambodian deployment, which Cambodia denies. By early December, the conflict has now again escalated with artillery exchanges and airstrikes. Now, for this discussion, we welcome retired Major General A.K. Siwachi. He's a geostrategic expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General A.K. Siwachi, for joining us again. Great to have you. Now, looking at this, it seems like it was indeed rushed and it did not hold. What do you think? What risks? What were the risks involved when they rush such a sensitive and important pact, especially between these two countries who have historical tensions? And what should they do to make sure that another ceasefire does hold on?
Yes. Very rightly you said the ceasefire which was brokered by Donald Trump was rushed because there was a pressure from Donald Trump to sign this ceasefire between both Thailand and Cambodia. And the problem is quite complex. It's not that simple. It goes back when there is a land dispute between both the countries on the border, where one country say that these two temples belong to them, and this was the time when the Cambodia was still under the control of France. Now the point come is that under pressure they signed this agreement, but it did not hold on the ground. And now the tension again emerged, and there is a fighting which took place between Cambodia and Thailand troops. And now the situation has become very volatile. There is about 10 to 15 lakhs people on the either side have been displaced. So now the Asian country, the Association of Southeast Nations, they are meeting at Kuala Lumpur, and they want to now renegotiate it, and they want that both sides, Cambodia and Thailand, they sit down together, they sort it out themselves, and they will be helped by other countries, including Malaysia, to reach a renegotiation in a manner that it holds on, rather than hurriedly reach to some consensus and then thereafter the problem starts. So I suppose it's a very good move. Let's hope that they come to some sort of consensus, because their meeting is going to take place on 24th December in Kuala Lumpur, where you will find the military officials of Cambodia and Thailand will also meet. So our expectations are there that time possibly they will hear each other and they will thrash out whatever is the differences. Because the earlier pact which was there, pushed by Donald Trump, had not hold on. Because Donald Trump was in hurry to declare that he has almost 8 wars have been stopped by him throughout the world, including he claimed to be India and Pakistan, which India has been claiming that US had no role in India-Pakistan conflict of 4 days. But all said and done, as on today, the issue is that the peace do not prevail between Thailand and Cambodia. The clashes are taking place. The people on the both the sides are suffering, and there is an urgent requirement of renegotiating. And both these countries are going to meet in Kuala Lumpur. They will be helped by other Asian countries, especially Malaysia, to reach a fresh consensus so that the peace prevails on the border between Cambodia and Thailand.
And retired Major General Siwachi, I would like to build on your answer. As you know, you rightfully mentioned that President Trump has been taking credit for brokering peace between 8 wars this year. However, contrary to claims made, of course, by India as well. What do you think, how effective is current US's emphasis or the effectiveness of all the peace negotiations that have been done? As you know, it seems like none of them have been holding on. The Gaza, including the Gaza ceasefire, including the Thailand, Cambodia one, and some others. So what do you think US was missing in Cambodia and Thailand's when brokering Cambodia and Thailand ceasefire?
Very correct. See, the point is very rightly said. The Trump wanted to take credit, and he said that he managed to stop Kosovo, Serbia, Congo, Rwanda, then Azerbaijan, Armenia, then Israel, Hamas. He talked about even Cambodia, Thailand, and then he talked including India, Pakistan, and very rightly said majority of them have not hold on, and the tension again restarted there, and especially on both Cambodia and Thailand. Why it did not hold on? Without going into details, without understanding what are the complexities, without hearing on the either side, trying to resolve the problem on ground, it was rushed because Donald Trump has almost warned both the leaders of Cambodia and Thailand that they must renegotiate and come to some conclusion in a time-bound manner. So it was basically hurried up. It was rushed under the pressure from Donald Trump, and rightly it did not hold on for too long. And again, the clashes have started between Cambodia and Thailand. Both the countries are blaming each other. Cambodia said that Thailand had used F-16 aircrafts very close to their border area, where Thailand says that Cambodia has been using heavy artifice. So all said and done, this pact which was signed by under pressure of Donald Trump has not hold on. There is a requirement of renegotiating, and that's why that the leaders of Asian countries are meeting in Kuala Lumpur, and they hope that they will renegotiate this peace deal, and they will make sure that the representative from both the countries, from Thailand and Cambodia, sit down and thrash out their problems, and also reduce their differences and reach some sort of consensus and agreement.
Very insightful. Thank you very much, retired Major General Siwaji, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we move on to Europe. Russia has claimed that its armed forces are advancing across the entire front line and have secured multiple advantageous positions, while Ukraine has confirmed that its troops withdrew from several positions in the Sumy region. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, over the past 24 hours, Russian forces have carried out strikes on Ukrainian military industrial enterprises, energy transportation, and storage infrastructure, supporting Ukrainian units. The strikes also targeted long-range drone assembly sites and temporary deployment locations of Ukrainian forces and foreign mercenaries. Meanwhile, the General Staff of Ukraine said its troops withdrew from multiple positions near a village in Krasnovpilia community along the border with Russia due to the rapid Russian advance. Ukrainian forces, however, continue to operate in the border area, inflicting losses on Russian personnel, and Russian units remain under fire from Ukrainian forces. Now for this discussion, we welcome back retired Major General A.K. Siwaji. He's a geostrategic expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General, for staying with us. Now, how do you think these advancing escalations from both sides, how do you think these are jeopardizing any negotiations or peace efforts that are being done on the table by Ukrainian, Russian, and U.S. delegations?
The problem as far as Russia-Ukraine is concerned,
yes.
Both countries' demands are not matching. What Russia is claiming that they want the area which they have already won, especially of Donbas, Zaporozhye and Kherson, which is almost about 18 to 20% of the complete Ukraine, should remain with them. And second thing is the Crimea, which they have taken in 2014, also should be regularized. In addition to that, they want that Ukraine should never join NATO, and also Ukraine 50% military strength should be reduced. Now, this is what is the requirement as far as Russia is concerned. As far as Ukraine is concerned, they are saying that they don't want to renegotiate about territory. They want that this area belongs to Ukraine and it must be given back, especially of Donbas area and Zaporozhye Kherson. And they also said that to ensure that in future they are safe, they should be given some sort of guarantee, and that guarantee should be something akin to para 5 of Article 5 of NATO, which also says attack on one country is attack on all NATO countries. Something very similar to you, a security guarantee should be given by US and other NATO countries. Now, there is a problem going on. Either side is not ready to compromise. 29 peace plan has been presented by Donald Trump. It was further reduced to 20. But what is happening on the ground, the situation is bad for Ukraine because Russia is slowly and steadily advancing toward the west. Russia is now targeting the energy sector of Ukraine. It is targeting their communication center, infrastructure, logistics supply chain, which is coming from Poland, Lavrov, that has been also cut. And recently, it is now target towns like Odisha and other port towns in the aim to cut Ukraine from Black Sea so that Ukraine becomes a landlocked country. So now this tension is going on, though Ukraine is also striking back on Russia. But Ukraine has a problem that it does not have those sort of weapons which can go deep inside Russia. So the question coming is that in case if the deal is not signed earlier, it will be advantage to Russia because Russia not only has a capability of fighting for long, second thing is it is advancing every day toward west and of Ukraine. It has already taken Sumy now, which have been accepted by Ukraine. So it will be in the, you can say, in the interest of Ukraine also to immediately sign a pact because the longer you take, the more area you will lose. You are not in a position to retake the area which is given. Maybe some compromise reach that instead of the complete area which has been won by Russia, Russia only takes a Donbas area, Donetsk and Luhansk, and leave Zaporizhia and Kherson because Zaporizhia is very important. It has got a nuclear power plant, and that possibly there. If that is agreed, there is a chances, and also Ukraine never joined NATO. It is given in writing. So I suppose negotiations are going on, but so far no concrete you can say outcome has come. Both sides are trying it. US is involved in this. They are having discussion now in Miami, in Florida also, where the reps of Russia and also Ukraine are meeting. Let's hope something build up, but it looks like that if the war does not stop, it is already almost 4 years, it will be disadvantage to Ukraine because Ukraine is losing every day in battlefield and Russia is gaining more territory than which it has already captured.
With that, I would like to thank retired Major General A.K. Siwache for joining us and sharing that insight as a geostrategic expert from New Delhi. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our next news to South America. El Salvador has announced on prison sentences for hundreds of convicted gang members, with some of them receiving centuries-long terms. A campaign against crime gangs spearheaded by President Nayib Bukele in recent years has reduced homicide rates in the Central American country to historic lows, but human rights groups accuse the authorities of committing abuses. The Attorney General's office has said in a post on X that 248 members of the notorious Mara Salvatrucha street gang had received exemplary sentences for crimes including 43 homicides and 42 disappearances. One individual was sentenced to 1,335 years in prison, while 10 others received prison terms ranging from 463 to 958 years. Since March 2022, Bukele has been cracking down on gangs under a state of emergency that allows for arrests without warrants. According to reports, more than 90,000 people have been detained, and some 8,000 have been released after being found not guilty. According to rights groups Socorro Jurídico Humanitario, 454 Salvadorans have died in prison since the crackdown began. The Salvadorian government has said MS-13 and another gang, Barrio 18, are responsible for the deaths of approximately 200,000 people over the course of 3 decades. The two gangs once controlled an estimated 80% of the country, and El Salvador had one of the highest homicide rates in the world. That's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.